Hello, my name is Sean Graham, and this is my Unit 2 video assignment. So I'll cover my understanding of leadership before the coursework, what I took away from the coursework, and what I think of my leadership today, and what the future may hold. So jumping right into what I understood or thought I understood about leadership before the coursework. So it was all, OJT, just learned on the job. I was in the Navy for a period and then got out, joined a family owned company, and then just kind of progressively took jobs with larger and larger companies and picked up ideas of leadership along the way. With a smattering of some workshops and corporate classes and that kind of thing thrown in. But what I felt confident that I knew or know going into the program here was the difference between leadership and management. I was aware of that you can be a competent manager without really being a good leader. So that was clear. And then I knew from my leaders, my bosses, that there were different styles, and I knew what I wanted to be, what I liked, what I saw in others. I didn't know what they were called, but I mean, now I know that it was more of a democratic, delegative style that I performed best under, and that I wanted to emulate. But I had no idea that there were, charts, graphs, quadrants of all these traits and styles that kind of formulated or formally categorize these behaviors. I just knew, hey, this is how so and so leads. I like this. Over here is more of an autocratic leader that I've had that was not enjoyable. So you picked up on it, but you didn't know. I didn't know that they had names per se. So then the last thing, and this I guess is leadership, but maybe just life in general. That you learn things from all of your leaders, all of your bosses, even if it is what not to do. So you can always learn from whoever you're working under or with, good and bad. So that was really it. It was very informal and just kind of leadership was a gut feel, and Steve Jobs up on the stage motivating. It wasn't a discipline unto itself. It wasn't a skill set. It was just something that you kind of had, and there was this idea, and that kind of thing's nebulous, a thing, but nebulous. So the coursework helped me with that. So first it kind of formalized all of my understanding of leadership. As I mentioned, it just put names to leadership styles, to follower types, situations. You knew you had an autocratic boss, and maybe you didn't like it, but you didn't know that it had a name per se, and that there were tools to work around it. So it formalized my understanding. Second, the coursework brought a lot of tools to the table. Just the ability to name things, evaluate situations. The data courses were particularly interesting. That everything can be measured, and if you're leading without taking advantage of that, you're kind of rolling the dice. So it brought a lot of, science. So I think of leadership as kind of part science, part art, because there is a just a knack to it, a gut feel to it. That is true, but there is a lot of formal thought that goes into it, and the data portion is probably the biggest thing for me that I took away from it, aside from just a general formalizing of the ideas. So specifically, getting into the courses, each course specifically, and what I learned. So, foundations of organizational leadership. So that introduced you to the idea of management versus leadership, and accounting for different cultures, beliefs, genders, all of the melting pot that we all work in. And then it introduced you to leadership theories in general. Then the data-driven decision-making courses. Everything can be measured. That's something that has really stuck with me. And KPIs, the value of collecting data. That's what I took away from those two courses. Organizational ethics and behavior. That got heavy into the traits, the behaviors, the importance of credibility and trust, the different types of power, coercion, legitimate, expert, and then discussed the ideas of transactional leadership versus transformational. Leadership theory courses, more on traits, behaviors, situations, the challenges that leaders face today, with technology, the rate of change, how quickly things change and move, and with that, the high levels of uncertainty. And then more of the science component, management by objectives, principles of project management, and the SWOT analysis were covered in that material. Leading change. So the only constant is change, and death and taxes, but we'll focus on change. This course covered change models, Lewin's unfreeze, change, refreeze, Kotter's 8-step, DCAR, and McKinsey 7S framework, and factors that drive organizational change and resistance to change. And so that brings us to the capstones. So the capstones brought it all back for me. I started this and some of these courses in 2019. So it's been a while. So the capstone assignments really forced me to go back and look through all of the material. So, you pick up high points on each course, but, just through life, you kind of lose some of it. So the capstones really help you to kind of go back and refresh the ideas in your mind. And the assignments I thought were really practical to that end. So that's what I got out of the capstones, which is probably what they were designed to do. So that brings me to today. What do I think of myself as a leader today, post coursework? Just generally more well-rounded and prepared, more confident. So with that education comes confidence in your knowledge. I can speak on it. I can act on it, and I know that it isn't just that feels right. There's something there that you can speak to. This makes sense, and here's why. So that's really it, I guess. After the coursework is that knowledge is just a weapon in your arsenal that you can apply to not just your work life, but really life in general. So, and what to do now, or where to go from here. I think first, short term, and on, I guess, I'll be looking for opportunities to apply the knowledge, and integrate what I've learned into life. and see what opens up from there. Long term, I may look at the master's program. I have the credits through the Navy, so it is an option. We'll see about that, but really, I want to apply what I've learned and see what doors open from there. So I think that concludes the video. Editing will be interesting, so I can't stand my own voice, and I don't really like looking at myself in videos. So that should be fun. But it was a great program overall and a great course. So thank you, and that concludes the assignment. Thank you.